Here we are again with little plastic boxes costing you hundreds or thousands of dollars, and it's happened on my own mother's car. Let's get started.
What? Mama Wizard's car is broken?
Yes, Mama Wizard's car has some issues when she selects defrost, floor, or center, any of those selections. It doesn't do anything. It's stuck on the center vents. And it happened just in perfect time when we just had a blizzard and there's ice on the ground and she needs defrost. And you guys know how it goes. Is that at that exact moment when you really need the defroster is when it says, no, I'm going to die right now. And it's like, couldn't it have happened at some other time in the summer when it wasn't that big of a deal? No, it has to happen in a blizzard. So, fortunately, we're going to find out that it's not as bad as it could be. You guys have seen in previous videos where I've had to pull whole dashes out of cars to get to some of these actuators. We're going to go over it today. We're going to show you how I take these parts out. We're going to actually take one apart and look at it. Before we dive in, let's take a look around my mom's car. Here's the front of my mom's 2008 Honda Accord. It does have the 4-cylinder engine. Years ago, she asked what kind of car she should buy, and she took my advice and got a nice Honda Accord. This one is in very good shape, only 102,000 miles. No scratches, no dents, even the wheels are nice. As we come around to the back, you can see there is a sticker in the back that has Omega Auto Clinic on it. My dad does very well at taking care of cars. As you can see, this thing has got many years and miles on it, and it looks like a brand new car. Very good condition. Let's let Mrs. Wizard show you guys around the interior.
There we go. It has 102,441 miles on this, and they have gone 84 miles since they've reset their trip. But it's looking good in there. Nothing crazy going on. Simple gauge cluster. Nothing that we haven't seen in about every other car we've ever done on this channel. But as we move up, the dash is in really nice shape. Nothing crazy going on. No dust. Looks like they've kept all the dust motes and everything off of here. Lots of gray, and more gray. Yes, it is 3:39 in the afternoon as we're filming today. But if you need a button or a few more buttons, this is the car for you. So lots going on here. She does have a very cute little hummingbird made out of beads. It is very adorable. When our kids were little, when we'd visit Colorado, they called these the peck-on birds because they would peck onto the little feeders. So that's nice. Move down. Looks like we got a little bit of a trash bag going on. Ooh, I'm going to tell you, it has been cold lately, and I bet that ice has been there frozen because the car is that cold at night. So, whew, sorry about that, Mama Wizard. And as we look at the seats, they do have a black cover over them protecting that cloth interior, but you can see that they are by Body Glove. So, okay, that's a nice addition. Keeps things looking good underneath there. Door card is in good shape as well. We've got lots of different colors, lots of different textures there as well. As you look down there, you'll see that we have molded to fit WeatherTech mats down there. And I love these designs because they fit just perfectly and keep everything nice and contained, especially after a blizzard. So in the back seat, you'll see they do not have the black covers over the back seats, but they do have a blanket on the bottom, and that is to make sure that their dog Zoe keeps her little toes from marking up and scratching up that seat. So it looks probably perfect under there as well, like everything else. Now, since the Wizard did not grow up in this car, they have had this car since he has been an adult, there is no Cheeto fingers, marks, markers, crayons, no marks up there because he was not a child when they owned this car. So back at our steering wheel, you see they have the standard buttons like every other steering wheel has in today's cars. She does have a cover over the steering wheel, and I guarantee that is just to make sure that it does stay protected. And it gives a little bit of an extra give to it, even though I've got my gloves on today, because again, it's still really cold out there in Kansas. So enough of this interior talk. Let's see what's going on underneath the hood.
Let's get the hood open here. We're all looking for a fresh start this time of year, from eating better to losing weight. We all have had some bad habits to stop and some good ones to start. This includes giving your finances a huge fresh start. Make this the year you start to get out of debt and stop being crushed by it. Your first step is to contact PDS Debt for a personalized debt solution. PDS Debt, sponsor of today's video, is here to help. If you have $10,000 or more in eligible debt, like credit cards, personal loans, collections, or medical bills, they are here to help. PDS Debt knows debt and wants to help you, in your specific scenario, find solutions to become debt-free. Make this the year you take control of your debt. Get a free debt analysis right now at pdsdebt.com/carwizard. It only takes 30 seconds. That's pdsdebt.com/carwizard. pdsdebt.com/carwizard. Now back to this Honda Accord. So this has a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder and it is an automatic.
Wizard, is that the factory installed corn cob?
You guys probably noticed that during the ad actually. We just noticed that as we open the hood. She must have a mouse somewhere or a pack rat that's crawling up in the car when she parks and it's been chewing on a corn cob. You can see the remnants and the pieces of where it's been chewing. Definitely let her know about that to keep an eye. We'll get that vacuumed out and cleaned up. But that's a surprise that we have all discovered just as we're filming here. You guys hungry? Yeah, out of here. Yeet! Mice and pack rats can do serious damage. There's a video actually we're going to show you what we found on the MGB that's in the shop. We pulled the whole car's harness out, but mice and pack rats can do serious damage. They really can. Sometimes it can be a couple $100 in damage. Sometimes they can do $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 in damage. So definitely let them know to maybe get some rodent deterrents or maybe some mouse traps or something along those lines, because although there's no issues with the car as far as the engine and transmission this time around, there very likely could be if whatever's getting inside of here starts chewing wires. So glad we found that now. Let's talk about what's going on in the dash. So one thing they've complained about as far as heat and AC and all those things work, but when they go to select different positions like center or floor or defrost, it stays on the center all the time. It refuses to change over to the different positions. That's center. Still blowing out of the center. Let's go to the floor. Still in the center. It will not move. This is very inconvenient because, like I said, they've been through a blizzard and they wanted to clear off the snow, melt the ice. It was really difficult. So let's find out where is these parts located that control the movement of the air flaps that change the air direction, and how sometimes you get lucky, they're not too hard to get to, and other times it can be a full dash out. These are located on the passenger side in the footwell, but up pretty high. Luckily, thank heavens, you can get to them just by removing the glove box. So I'm going to go ahead and remove them for you guys and show you what went wrong. Okay, so I have one out. This is actually the recirculate motor. It operates fresh air or recirculate. I don't really need to replace this one, but you have to get it moved out of the way to get the actual motor actuator out. So we'll go ahead and get this one set aside, and now I'm going to jump into removing the culprit, the failed motor actuator. So the tool I use to do this is something I use in a lot of dash work. It is definitely necessary. It's a baby little ratchet. It's tiny. You can change its direction just by pushing the center through one way or the other way. But it's actually a frictionless ratchet, and I'll demonstrate. I'll hook this extension on. Now I'm going to pretend like I'm ratcheting, but you won't hear the telltale ratcheting sound of a ratchet, like it doesn't make any noises. It's frictionless. It doesn't have any ratcheting mechanism. When you get into tight spaces, you can't be going by one little ratchet at a time. This thing, you can just go tiny little bits at a time, and it works so good. This is on our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. Definitely a tool you have to have when you're doing dash work. Let's talk about these actuators.
So Wizard, do you feel like you're at school again?
Yeah, it's like those little tiny chairs at desk that they had at school, which were fine when you're little, but they're not now. So these are those pesky motors we're talking about where the electronics or the gears inside strip out. Something fails inside, and when they do, it stops doing that particular job, whether it be changing the temperature, or it could be a motor that changes floor, defrost, vent. It could be a recirculate one, but when they fail, that particular motion stops working. I'll go ahead and take this one apart. This one's not failed, but we're going to replace it anyways, because why would you put the old one back? If this one failed, this one's probably right behind it. So this is the motor that controls center, vent, floor, defrost. You can see it has cams built into it, and it can change multiple different arms with one circular motion. The new one I've ordered comes with this disc attached and also these metal little attaching points all in one unit, so I don't have to buy those pieces. But I want to take it apart today and show you guys the inside. So I'll take the little cam piece off, take this bracket off of here. Now we're going to pry these little catches on the sides. I'm going to break them because I don't care, we're getting a new one. You see a bunch of teeth in there. The teeth haven't failed on this one, but what has failed is this motor has probably stopped working or got very difficult to move. And when it does, it tells it to move. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. It'll just kind of get jammed up and just come to a stop. Some of you may have experienced when you start your car, you'll hear in the side of the dash like click, 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 and it finally stops. And you're like, why does it keep making that noise? It's usually these little teeth on these little gears will actually start stripping out. Why don't they make these out of metal so it never does that? I don't know. Maybe so they don't break the parts inside the HVAC box. But these can go bad. That or the motor itself can go bad, which this one, it feels pretty tight. You can't just buy just the motor. You can't just buy just the little gears. And why would you when a brand new entire unit costs like 40 or 50 bucks? It's not even worth putting your old parts back in because you know something else is going to break. Just replace the whole thing. And yes, you might be able to 3D print these, but I'm not going to buy expensive 3D printing machines. Again, when the entire assembly only costs 40 or 50 bucks. It's a waste of time. So I've got the new parts on order. As soon as they arrive, we'll put both actuators. We'll go ahead and do both of them. Since we're there, we had them out anyways. Put this all back together and their problem will be solved and be back on the road happy again. Many more miles out of this nice Honda Accord. What would it cost to have this job done? Probably $300 to $500 range. Maybe a little more, depending on how complex. If there's a lot more that has to come apart, maybe it's a Nissan, maybe it's a Chevy or whatever, it can be a little bit more. But if it's a job that requires the whole dash to come out, which there's videos you can watch the Car Wizard has done, anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. It can be very, very expensive to do them. We got very lucky this time around. It's going to be a $300 to $500 job, but I can't charge my own mother to do this. Why would I do that? We're not going to charge her anything. We're going to put 2 new motors on and say, have a nice day, here's your keys. You put up with me when I was screaming, a little kid. I think I can put up with your little motors going out on your car.
You did destroy a lawnmower.
Yes, I destroyed lawnmowers, toys, all kinds of things. They bought me nice toys and I would break them into pieces because I wanted to learn how they work.
You drew on the walls with glow-in-the-dark crayons.
Yes, I did all kinds of crazy things. So I guess it's my turn to return the favor and not charge them anything. But it would cost $300 to $500 to probably get this done if I was charging anyone else. If you're curious what kind of tools we use to work on this, just like that little ratchet I showed you or any other tools we use in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut and really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button because there's so many more cool videos to come of all these cars in the shop. Thanks for watching.